So that's Captain Oliver right there, and that's Joy. We're gonna go for a little sail here on the City of Wilmington waterfront. We're at actually 5 North Water Street.
He's gonna help me with the ropes. Dad, this is Joy. Hi, Joy. And Patrick.
Patrick, nice
My
to see
dad,
you,
Al.
sir.
So when you guys come on, you can keep your shoes on. I just keep mine off because I'm walking everywhere. They don't get in my way. One good foot here.
Yes.
And come on up.
Go, Joy.
It's got a good
Same
grip to
him.
it. Come right on back, Miss Joy.
Go back to him. Go back to him. You don't want to get hit by the boom, trust me.
Yeah, they call it boom for a reason.
My vision's not great, Captain. Sorry.
That's all right. Perfect. So you guys. My bedroom for if I go on adventures. I live in Southport, but the restroom it does work. Can you flush the toilet? The flusher's here. You gotta put it down. Turn it on where you use the bathroom. Turn it off.
You sleep here?
Maybe on like a Friday night or Saturday night if I've been downtown and drinking. But I have a house in Southport that I live at.
So this is a single-masted schooner. It's not like Oracle Team USA where they're racing on hydrofoils. This is a fixed keel. How many meters? How many feet? 32 feet? 34?
38 footer, 44 if you count the bowsprit, but who's counting?
38 footer. And the bowsprit will make it 44 feet, which you run your spinnaker off of that.
13 feet wide.
Yeah, 13 feet at the beam, which is the left side to the right side. Has a full galley, sleeping quarters, has a bathroom facility. Joy has already toured that. Actually, going down the Cape Fear River, we're heading south down the river, and I'm gonna watch my head. But you see that's Water Street Tower down there. There's the Ballas Hotel. Embassy Suites is further north. Then you have the Federal Courthouse building that is currently under renovations. They just replaced the bulkhead here because the river was encroaching upon that foundation, and the left-hand corner of the building was actually sinking. It was like 1.5 feet lower than the right-hand corner, so they went in there and they jacked it up, they repropped it. They have to do all the sheetrock inside or plaster work inside, but that will not be completed until next summer. Then you have the foot of Market Street, which is there. There's typically a horse-drawn carriage ride that's there. There's a visitors information center here, so there's all kinds of walking tours, ghost tours, pub crawls, e-bike tours. Downtown Wilmington is a very nice historical town. It's easy to walk in the historical district. It's not so wheelchair accessible friendly because there's some cobblestones and curb cuts that are in the wrong places. You have shops along the waterfront, and then down here you have our favorite restaurant is the George. You have other charter companies that are here, and Bonnie's, which is a floating pontoon barge bar, which is really nice. And then they also park the Henrietta boat there. And you go further down and you have the Pilot House restaurant and Elijah's right through here. And we're approaching the Memorial Bridge, which is there in front of us. And Joy is enjoying this. And again, this is Captain Oliver. So Captain, how long have you been sailing?
Since 2020. I've been sailing on three different sailboats, as well as 2 motor yachts, and I've taken a 70-foot schooner from here below Bahamas across the Gulf of Mexico and back.
Wow.
Tons of fun.
Tons of fun. Did you apprentice on a boat, or did you go to school to be a captain?
I took my captain's class from the community college down here, and that's through the Merchant Marines, and they are all monitored by the Coast Guard.
Okay.
So it took a little bit of time to get it, and I've done a bunch of, I guess you'd call it apprenticing on other people's boats.
Right.
The best way to learn how to be on a boat is to find a friend that has a boat.
Right.
Instead of buying one and trying to learn by yourself.
So again, it's 38 feet, but with the bowsprit, it's 44 feet, 13 feet across the beam.
Yep.
And what do we draft?
3 foot 2 inches.
3 foot 2 inches. Is it a fixed keel?
Yes, but interesting things about this boat, it does have 2 center boards that drop. There's a crank right there, and there's a crank right here.
Okay.
That middle little winch, and it allows me to go to 6.5 feet.
Okay.
So
Gives you greater stability to the boat too,
Sure.
and rougher waters.
rougher waters, but more so on longer distances where the wind will be pushing us. It won't let us lean as much.
Okay.
It makes it a little bit more comfortable.
Okay.
But you put those down when you know you're going to be going 30 miles for the next 5 hours.
Right. So the boat won't list as far to port or starboard.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So we're heading south down the Cape Fear River, and then there's a fuel tank facility over there with some murals painted on them. Another boat coming up the river. And then the port facilities are that way, and Southport, North Carolina, and Ballhead Island is that direction. Over here to my right is Eagle Island. They actually farm over there. And then we come back. Hold on, we're listing a little bit. Listing port. Starting to feel the wind a little bit now. So, and that way is downtown Wilmington, North Carolina. So you have the Memorial Bridge and the waterfront. And then that's the port facilities, where they export pulpwood and they import goods in shipping containers that come up the Cape Fear River. And now we're down here at the port facilities at the end of Independence Drive. Shipyard Boulevard, actually. Shipyard Boulevard, Wilmington. This is the shipping container facility. They actually will load up in a big container ship, and they will send that overseas to China for fuel and wood to make furniture. And then there's Joy. And then here is another charter company right there, that you can also access from the city of Wilmington waterfront. Okay, so Captain Oliver's got something that he's working on in the future here. So what's your timeline again?
So this is for the fall, whenever it gets a little cooler out. But it's going to be a 4-hour cruise, and with a 2-hour intermission in the middle where we anchor out on the Brunswick River. I do a 3-course fine dining dinner with champagne, dessert, and I have a wonderful stewardess, Kirsten Crook, that'll be assisting me. It's going to be $1,000 for 4 people or $750 for 2 people. Lovely time. Guarantee one of the best things you'll do that day.
That sounds awesome. That's awesome. And he'll do, like I said before, just contact him. I'll have his contact details in the description. Contact him. It's probably better to go through him to make arrangements, and he can customize your sailing charters. But typically he does tours at 10,
1 p.m., 3:30, and then a sunset at 6:30.
And then those charters are you could be either alone or you could be with a group of other people.
I can take up to 6 people.
Yeah, so he can take up to 6 people at a time, but so it's not going to be an exclusive charter unless you talk to him about making an exclusive charter. We got lucky because no one else booked this time slot, so we have the boat to ourselves, which is great. And Joy, having a good time?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not bored sitting around the house. And then even if you want, I'm talking to him about doing a charter either from Southport back up to Wilmington or to Southport, and maybe we stay at a B&B overnight, something like that. He currently lives in the Southport area.
I live in Southport, and I do my business out of the Riverwalk down here in Wilmington because it's just way too pretty.
Yeah.
And I get the foot traffic that I like. I'm in month 2.5 of starting up this brand new business of mine. Been sailing for 3 or 4 years, but I've had this boat for 3 or 4 years too. But with the business, 2.5 months, I'm starting short.
Awesome. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. All right, heading forward. Watch your head. Don't want to get hit by the boom. So we're coming back into downtown Wilmington. It's been an absolutely peaceful sail. Captain Oliver is outstanding. Good tour guide. But if you see the Memorial Bridge here, the Cape Fear, we are at 54 feet as we're passing under. And you can see downtown Wilmington in the distance. The weather is absolutely perfect. So definitely, if you're in Wilmington, North Carolina, southeastern North Carolina, make this a 2-hour trip for you. You can book longer, but make this a 2-hour trip for you, and it's going to be well worth your experience as we're coming underneath the bridge. This is an elevated bridge system, so the middle span actually raises to allow larger cargo ships and larger sailing vessels. Larger than 65 feet clearance, the bridge has to elevate. And I will tell you that when the bridge elevates, either 74, 76 or Dawson Street, traffic backs up for several blocks. So the residents of Wilmington don't like it when big ships come through. That tall building there is Solomon Towers. That's on Front Street. And we're currently under sail. We are not motoring currently. And then as you come up, you have these homes with dock facilities. You have the pilot house, you have Elijah's, you have dock spaces, you have Chandler's Wharf, which is a shopping area with a restaurant. And you go further up, you have the George. And coming up behind me, I believe, is an Osprey, a Marine Corps Osprey flying down the river. So we're probably going to see that. So I'll keep rolling. Yep, it's an Osprey. It's going to be right over our heads. Here he comes. And that was a USMC, United States Marine Corps, Osprey, flying down the river. And they'll do that several times a day. You get Chinooks and sea stallions flying down the river. As I pan further, so you have shops there. Those are condos above. Those are sometimes bed and breakfasts there. That boat in the center of the screen is also a charter tour boat. You have Elijah's there. That is the Henrietta 3. They do dinner cruises on that boat right there. And that's the boat that you saw earlier doing a narrated tour. And Bonnie's is right there, which is a bar, pub, restaurant right on the water. They have great cocktails. Have shops in that building with condos above. That is the foot of Market Street right there. And then the federal courthouse building is there. And then the tall tower is Water Street Towers, the Ballast Hotel, the Loft Hotel, which is, oops, sorry about my finger. The Loft Hotel is right there in the center of your screen. Then that's the Embassy Suites. And then there's the other bridge. There's a dredge down there dredging out City Marina currently. This is your view of downtown Wilmington. And time to go back to my wife and check in on her and see how she's doing. Joy! Very excited about spending the day with her today. This is her first sailboat experience. I have some experience on sailboats. Watch the glass. And there's Captain Oliver there.
Hello, hello.
And time for me to sit down. So we're actually on the Greater Cape Fear River, and that's 421 bridge right there looking at downtown Wilmington. And if you pan back this way going westward, Fayetteville is how many miles?
158 miles of river.
158 miles of river that twists and turns. There's a couple of dams and locks on that river, on this river. But Captain Oliver kind of gave us a little different perspective. And he said that sometimes when the wind is blowing southeast,
Yep.
south, he'll come this way for the sunset cruises. He'll get you past those transmission towers right there. But this gives you a little different perspective of the river. And Joy is just sunbathing over there. Yes, Joy? Joy, would you tell people to come?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And what does it have, Joy? Yeah. And the water has been actually calm today. There was a couple of times where the boat under wind would list slightly, but it's not. You're not going to get seasick on this sail. Even if you're not an avid sailor, an avid boater, and you're just a complete novice, you're not going to get seasick on this sail. It is so serene, relaxing. It's so peaceful. It's a great way to spend 2 hours here in downtown Wilmington, North Carolina. So again, I highly recommend coming and seeing Captain Oliver, and he'll hook you up because this is just so peaceful. My wife is is ecstatic. Yes, Joy, wave. Say goodbye to everybody. Yep. Yeah. And the weather is perfect today. You got a nice breeze blowing. Got some cloud cover overhead, so not a lot of sun. I would wear sunscreen though if your skin is just a little white or sun sensitive. Make sure you got that sunscreen on. Sunglasses to glare off the water. And I bet we're gonna have to book this for a sunset sail one day, because I bet it's just absolutely breathtaking. So thanks for sailing with us. Joy says goodbye, and then Captain Oliver says he'll see you on the next charter.
That's it.
So we're coming back into the dock here in Wilmington, North Carolina, at the foot of Water Street and Market. So this is actually 5 North Water Street.
Thank you, sir.
Right here, just past the Visitor Information Center, and the Busy Bee shuttle service that can take you over to the battleship. And Joy does not want to leave the boat. Right, Joy? You want to stay?
You guys hang out one second while
Yeah.
this time.
Battleship North Carolina, Brunswick County, Cape Fear Memorial Bridge. Stand by, Joy.